Built Better, the podcast for home improvement contractors by Modernize Home Services.
All right, so welcome to Built Better, a podcast by Modernize Home Services, where we explore and highlight trends and topics around contractor marketing. I'm Don Pucci, Director of Account Management and your host. By my side is co-founder of Modernize, Chris Pallatroni. We're actually live at the Texas Roofing Conference in steamy San Antonio. I'm saying steamy because I just lugged equipment in from like 3 miles away, so that's fun. So if I look a little disheveled, don't judge me. But joining us in booth 200 is Holly Green. She's the president of Brettco Roofing, and actually a member of NAWIC, National Industry of Women in Construction, if I got that right.
National Association of Women in Construction.
I'm going to say that again. Member of NAWIC, National Association of Women in Construction, which I freaking love because the women in my life are amazing, and I just don't see a lot of women in the construction industry, and especially in roofing. So I'm really happy to have you here with us today, Holly. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
If you can give me just a little bit of give me your elevator background blurb, if you don't mind. Like, how'd you get in the industry?
Well, I grew up in a small town, and my dad was always up to some kind of project. So technically, I like to say that my roofing career started when I was about 8 years old, and helped him put a roof on our home in New Mexico. So your
dad lets you get up on a roof at 8 years old?
Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. He was like, "Who else is going to put a roof on it? Nobody else but us." And I said, "Okay, Dad, well, let's do it." So we did. So it was fun. And but yeah, I basically I've been in the roofing industry now for 33 years. And I never thought I'd be in this space, but it's been a great space to be in. Actually, I enjoy learning and meeting new people all the time, learning about them, what their story is, and how do we help them? How do we help them take care of one of the biggest investments that they've ever had? So besides their retirement, then there's their home, right?
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that don't know how to take care of homes. So that's what we try to help them do. But basically, been in the roofing industry 33 years and just keep going. So, and I'm a member of lots of associations, and I attribute that to my success as well.
Yeah. I think you're in it for the right reason. I mean, I'm a homeowner myself. Chris is going to be building a new home there in Santa Rosa, California. You can see him in the box there. We both have little sheds. So he got the shed first, and then I was inspired by Chris. And during COVID, I built a shed in my backyard because I had nothing else to do. But yeah, I mean, we're both homeowners, and we have definitely had a keen understanding of contractors that aren't in it for the right reason. So
right. Yeah.
Just thank you for that, because it's refreshing to hear.
Well, it's really fun to, people don't get excited about roofing, but when they realize the necessity of it, it protects everything that's in their home, including themselves and their families.
Yeah.
And their other, all their stuff.
Right.
As I call it.
It's one of those things that you don't really realize until it leaks, until you get a hailstorm, something going on there, and then it's really apparent that you need a good roof.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But not only that, we get to help them make changes. We help them redesign their homes. I mean, basically, we can take a whole exterior and make it look totally different, give it a much better curb appeal. So that's what you want to do. You want to say, how do we raise the curb appeal of your home so that if you decide to sell, which in this market we're selling to lots of people, you're getting a lot of money really quick for what small dollars you can spend to make it, make a difference.
Can you remind me again what market that you're servicing right now?
I market the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, DFW. So what kind of radius do you do around DFW?
We go all the way down to Brownwood, Texas, Stephenville, and come all the way around and go to Sulphur Springs and all the way as far as Gainesville. Big loop.
Yeah, so you guys are pumping right now, I bet.
We do. Yeah.
The first topic that we wanted to go through is the elephant in the room, the post-COVID environment that we find ourselves in. Pre-today, few days in the past. I mean, what really was the hardest thing about kind of managing through the last year with your team? I mean, you service a big area. Imagine that takes a lot of people. Managing a team like that.
Right. Yeah.
What was your approach?
First of all, we had to figure out what could we do, where were we able to go, and what were the parameters we had to work within. And so we quickly learned and assessed, what PPE, which is protection equipment that we needed, and just kind of basically had to change and modify our job sites, made sure we had hand washing stations on our job sites, that we didn't cross-contaminate any tools and things like that we wiped them all down. And so also taking consideration of your homeowners. So, I mean, I had some homeowners that were just extreme. They're like, do not touch the doorknobs, do not do this, do not do that. You're like, okay.
It's my wife.
It's my sister-in-law. I'll never forget. I was like, she was wiping things the minute I came in. I had been out of town before everything had started shutting down, and I went to their house to pick up my dog. And I walked in, and she was just like standing there with a hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipe in her hands. I was like, oh my goodness.
In the beginning, remember, you couldn't find any hand sanitizer anywhere. You couldn't even find the ingredients for hand sanitizer, like for most places, right?
Right.
Could you believe that my wife started wiping down our doorknobs with tequila?
Oh no, that's just abuse.
We had like a handle that of really bad tequila. No, tequila's bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great tequila.
Yeah.
Well, in college you do things, right? But we had this brand that, just from a party laying around, and she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna wipe it down with tequila. After we had somebody in our house, she was like, whatever. All right.
I know. So, I mean, basically, we had to learn how to interact, through a computer.
Yeah.
We did a lot of Zooms. We did a lot of, of course, I talk on the phone all the time. So, that's what I do. So.
Yeah. So prior to COVID, what percentage, if at all, were you doing of Zoom meetings with homeowners? Imagine most people weren't.
No, not with homeowners. I wasn't. I mean, with business meetings, I was, but not that. Yeah, we had to kind of make some changes, and we had to make sure that everybody had documentation as to where we were going and how we were going to get it done. So.
Right. So, once you started doing Zoom meetings with homeowners, at what percentage, what clip were they asking to do Zoom meetings typically?
Well, I'm going to tell you, most of mine are a lot older customer clientele. They weren't real savvy about computers. So I had to figure out another way. You have the tech savvy group, and then you have the group that's not. So I just started going and sitting 10 feet away from them in their yards and made sure they had a whole packet of everything we were going to go over. So that ended up being the easiest way to communicate.
Yeah.
So...
got to do what you got to do.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So, you get through COVID, and now here we are post-COVID, right? Essentially. Things are going back to normal, but the supply chain is crazy right now. So for everybody that I'm encountering here is having different issues, but there are some commonalities. Like, how's the supply chain for you, and how are you dealing with those types of things?
Well, I think this is the time when a contractor, whatever contractor you hire, you need to make sure that they have established accounts at supply houses. And if you have a good account and you pay on time, I typically am not having as many I'm having some issues on some products, but they're more in a different area than my residential area. So I call ahead 12 weeks at a time and order all my jobs, all my builders, all my homeowners realize there's a 12-week wait. If they want a specialty color, if they want weatherwood or black, then we can do that. Pretty simple. Just we can't say it's going to be a certain brand. It's like we need you to pick 1, 2, or 3. So give us in line up, and you're going to get 1, 2, or 3. So it's kind of like, but we're going to still put a system together based off that. So
did you have to add any manufacturers that you weren't working with prior, or are you sticking with your same?
I'm sticking with my same. Yeah. So we typically use Certainty and Owens Corning and GAF, and then there's another TAMCO. So. we typically use those 4 type products.
Yeah. Chris, she's got them all.
Not all of them. There's some more. There's IKO, there's Malarkey, there's a few others.
I kid.
Yeah, that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
That's like that. My customers tend to like their granule drops, so the color, the way the shingles look and everything. So
yeah. Through any of this, have materials changed for you all? Or, I mean, have you steered people away from certain materials? Has that changed pre-post? Does that matter?
No. Not really. No, not for me. It hasn't been. Not for my team. I mean, and this isn't the first time I've been through a supply chain issue.
Yeah.
We had this in 1992, which some of y'all may not even been here. Sorry about that. I started when I was 12. Okay, so no. But yeah, I mean, you just go on to allocation, and you just have to realize that. You just need to remember, as a contractor, when you're going through this, you need to set up the picture right for your clients and let them know, hey, these are the expectations. The sooner you can make a decision, not trying to push you or anything, but the sooner you can make a decision, the sooner we can go ahead and get your shingles lined up. And then when they have them available, then you'll be put in line to get the production done. So,
right.
Hey, Holly, I had actually a question for you with regards to the sales stuff. I know you said you weren't running into as many issues with receiving product. Was there any sort of disruption that happened with your sales process or your installation process over this last year?
The one thing would be on the sales part. I mean, as far as, installation and things like that, we were pretty good at being able to produce and get there. On the sales part, people started really kind of locking down. They didn't know where their money was going to come from. So they were really more, especially in residential projects, they were like, oh, wait. Let's go ahead and put paint on the walls and let's do this. But they didn't think about their roof right away until something major happened. So they didn't. That's a big ticket item. So.
Yeah. Are people mostly financing your jobs, or are they going more through insurance?
They go with the insurance, a majority of them. I haven't had a customer just pay cash, I mean. Yeah. I had a call last week for one, but I don't know what she's going to do when I give her the price.
Yeah, a roof ain't cheap.
Yeah, well, no, and she wanted to have a metal roof, so metal has increased significantly. I mean, I was looking at it's more than, double. As far as what it was last year at this time. And then I just bid a project that last year at this time we were doing 1/2-inch CDX. Plywood, 1/2-inch CDX then was $20.81 a sheet. This year it's $78.49 a sheet, and that's at a minimum 250 load. 250 sheets. So it's not like we were just buying 1 or 2 sheets. We're buying in large numbers. So
right,
yeah, it's just. So we just tell everybody it's like maybe we might want to wait for a little bit.
Yeah, so. I mean. Are you writing their tickets and then just having them wait? Or can you work with them because they want to lock it down now so they get in line?
Right. Yeah. So
the price of being a factor.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's where we started becoming creative. You know. So first of all, if a person does an insurance claim, we want them to go through the insurance process. A lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of times that you need to go back and ask for certain items. You want to make sure that the scope of work is what the scope of work really is. The insurance adjusters write up all these line items, but they don't realize there's a system already on a roof, and this is what we need to pay them back for as a system to put back on the roof. So we like to get the dollars right, and then I always tell my customers, it's like, okay, let's go get the dollars right, then let's spend it. And we need to spend it all. We don't need to spend not just some of it. We need to spend it all. And all you're going to have to spend is your deductible, unless you decide to upgrade to some better products that are going to help your home. So help you reduce your heating and cooling, or help you reduce your insurance premiums. So we try to walk them through that. And then the next thing we know is, oh wait, there's a few boards that need fascia board that needs to be fixed. The squirrels have been chewing on this or that. So let's get my framing contractor over there. Let's look at that. We end up falling into those things. So I tell everybody, it's like, lately we do roofs, but I feel like now we just do exterior remodels. And then the other day, one of my customers goes, "Can you do the painting in the house inside?" And I'm like, "Sure, let's take a look at it." So we go for it. We go in there. Next thing I know is they're like, "Can we have new cabinets too?" And I'm like going, "I'm a roofing contractor, but Holly, you do this really good. We like who you pick. All your people are fabulous, you know." So, you know, I have a really great team of people. I've been in the industry a long time. I cut my teeth on new construction, so built a lot of, you know, residential homes. And so I know a lot of nice, good contractors that do quality work. And that's one thing you really want to make sure is that you hire a contractor that does do quality work, because there's a lot of them out there that don't. They don't have the skill sets. And I mean, I've got some guys that I'm going to be really sad when they retire. So, like, I'm going to be really sad because they do such nice work. Yeah. But I'm finding new people to groom them, mentor them. And I think that's probably what I'm most passionate about in my company. It's not just roofing. It's like, how do we help a customer have a positive experience? And then in the end, they end up with a beautiful home. Right. And they love it. That's going to sell. That word of mouth is going to sell more to anyone else out there. And I mean, we've gotten jobs off of just, "Oh, well, call Holly. She can take care of that." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, people sometimes forget. I mean, there's a sales process. There's getting the homeowner sold on the product.
Right.
But most of the work is the installer, and sometimes it's after the fact. And like, I'm just going to Home Depot and get my installers. I mean, you're probably gonna have a bad time.
Right.
But how do you talked a little bit about it. Can we expand a little bit about, like, really, how do you get those quality installers? I mean, you're just out. You seem like a person that's just out there networking.
Oh, I do. I network a lot. I network with a lot of people. I mean, I work, like I said, I network in a lot of industry industry associations. Yeah. You know, like NAWIC, it's National Association of Women in Construction. I joined that group because it was a group designed by women, made for women, who supported big, huge contractors. And you're going to meet every person in every trade. You know, you have GCs, architects, you have, you know, all kinds of types of people. And it expands your knowledge. It's like, how do I find a good electrician? So I have access to good electricians. How do I find good HVAC contractors? I have access to that now, because you got all the different trades. And so that was really nice for me, because being in the roofing world, you don't have that. You know, it's like, it's just roofing, you know, but it's not. It's more than roof. It's what keeps you nice and dry. Yeah. Keeps you protected from the sun. So, but yeah, like you said, it's networking. You got to think outside the box and go further than just your trade associations. So like National Women in Business, I do those types of groups. I do Chamber of Commerce. I mean, I try to expand and meet other people, but you know, be friends with your banker. Your banker's the one who lends the money, right?
This is true.
Go fix his roof if he needs it, or if you know it held near his area. Hey, let us come take a look at your roof, and then he's going to tell his neighbor and his neighbor and his neighbor. But you know, like you said, you'll also talk to your banker. He'll find you good quality contractors, because he'll know, hey, they pay their bills. They take care of their notes. They take care of everything. Supply houses help you find good quality contractors. You want people who actually not just install, but also run a business. They're not just doing this for the short haul. They're doing it for the long haul.
Yeah, that ain't easy to find those folks.
No, and you know, and that's the question is, you know, how long have you been in business? How long have you been doing this? And what other type of skill sets do you have besides being a roofing contractor? You know, so it's like, you know, it's life. We all have different things, you know, so we learn and we move forward. Yeah. This is like, I was talking to Jenna, one of your young ladies over there, and she's really excited. She's going to go check out the Austin chapter of NAWIC, which there is one there. And so, but yeah, it's not just about roofing. It's like, okay, great. You made a whole bunch of money. Now what do you do with it? Now you learn how to invest it right and move it and grow it and give back to other people. But like I said, quality contractors start. Yeah. And then you go and find some other, normally you just try to find somebody that can groom them or teach them how to be better people. Yeah. It's not just about what they do. It's like, how do you be a better person in the long run? How do you give back to your community? And that's one thing. Like my company, we've won 3 community service awards from the North Texas Roofing Contractors Association. And that's an incredible experience to happen, for you and your company, and you just kind of go, wow, this is great. I gave back. It was something so simple, but it made a life-changing moment in somebody's life,
Yeah, it's true. It's like, it reminds me, I don't know if you're into Friends, but there's a Friends episode where Joey's trying to prove to Phoebe that there is no good deed, because everything is selfish. If you do a good deed and it makes you feel good, then it's a selfish deed. It's like, okay, but yeah, you feel great doing those things, but you're helping other folks. Also, there's just community benefits to it. You're helping your community get better.
Right. Right.
Contractors are hard to find, hard to come by. So you found the contractors. And really, what's your pitch to a contractor to work with you versus working with somebody else?
Okay. So, my gutter contractor, when I found him, I asked him lots of questions. I asked him, I said, number 1, do you have insurance? Do you have general liability? Are you bondable? Show me 5 jobs you've done. I want to go look at the quality of work that you do. That's, and how do you operate your business? What does it look like? If I called you today, when can you install? Or if I need you to measure something. I ask them a lot of questions, and I go look at their work, and then I give them a test project. Somebody that I usually know personally, I'm like, all right, you're going to be a guinea pig. You ready? And I know that's awful, but I do that to my best friends, and I go, if it's not right, I'm going to fix it, right? They go, yes. So, but and one of I have a painter I just hired, and I had only seen a little bit of his work. And then I said, all right, I have this really picky customer. I'm going to ask you to go take a look at his house, and then I want you to quote it. And then he came back, and he gave a great quote. And I said, all right, let's do it. So he gets over there, and he gets it done. When we get done, this guy is he worked for IBM for multiple years, very analytical. And he's just very, everything's got to be perfect. He goes, I thought I had paint on my house. He goes, but now I really got paint on my house. It's the quality of the products that you use also. It's not just using, just builder grade is what I call it.
Yeah.
You use those higher end products. They last you longer. They help you not have to make more repairs in the long run. So typically a lot of people don't realize they need to repaint their house, or they need to do something. Have your roof looked at least every year. That way, if it does storm in your area, you knew exactly where that roof was. Like I had a customer this last week from, I actually went through a class called Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. And this young lady, she owns a welding shop. And she called me, she says, hey, got my house listed. I need y'all to look at my roof. And I said, okay, great. We went and looked at it. It didn't really show that it really had, it was just kind of on that edge of almost enough hail damage to file a claim. But if not, here's the repairs we suggest, and let's wait till the next one. Well, then she decided to sell her home. Now it's changed a different situation. So is what we're going to do now is, okay, now because of the contract request from the buyer, they're going to go ahead and, have you come and, file a claim. Let's get an adjuster out there. And then so that's what we're doing now. So now we'll walk her through that process. Of course, now we're going to have to shorten that timeline of 12 weeks we got to get it done by July 25th. So we got a lot shorter timeline to get it taken care of if it ends up being, totaled and ready to go. But it's you just kind of walk people through things. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that answered your question or not about quality of people, but
I think if I'm a contractor, I want people to, if I'm a good contractor, I want to know the company I'm going to be working for is just like any company, right? Like you're in it for the right reasons. Right. You're asking the right questions. Our company, man, we put people through the ringer. We've got a panel process. You're going to be interviewing with us for 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. And it's a process, but it helps keep our attrition low, helps people have 2 feet in, and they get a chance to interview us. Right. You want your contractors interviewing you just like you're interviewing them because you want to keep them around.
Oh, yeah.
You find those red flags, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I start looking at contractors that work on my residential projects, I think, would I hire this person for my home? Would I want them at my house? How does their work ethic? When do they get up? How quickly do they get their bids done? When did they get up? When did they show up to a job? Did they show up clean? Are their vehicles clean? Or do they open the door on their van and a bunch of stuff falls out? It's like, did they clean up after themselves?
Right.
You want to make sure that they're representing you. So you want to make sure that once they pull up on the job site that everybody's good. And I think that's just it. You've got to groom, no matter which contractor you use, painter, cabinet maker, roofing contractor, gutter contractor, windows, screens, whatever. You want to make sure that they know they're representing Brettco, and that when they get there, it's yes, ma'am, no, sir, yes, sir. It's how do we make that customer happy? It's like I tell everybody, we want them to have the Ritz-Carlton experience of going through this project.
That's right. I want to get the Ritz-Carlton experience.
That's right.
I'm in Austin, not DFW, though. But
give us a call. We can make it happen for you.
Come on down, Holly.
We can make it happen for you.
Well, we're coming up on our time here. I think that's a pretty good place to end.
Is that a pretty good place? Yay.
I think
How'd I
so.
do? Did I do all right? He didn't say anything. He's just sitting there going, oh my gosh. This girl.
He's just holed up in his shed.
He's hanging out in his shed. Chilling.
Holly, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
I think you definitely do things the right way. It sounds like, I've talked to a lot of contractors, a lot of people own businesses, and you're one of the good ones. So,
well, thank you. I hope so.
And one of the fun ones.
I want to just say thank you for being here at the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas at our trade show and being here and supporting us. We think that it's a necessity that, everybody understands what the rules and the laws are out there about roofing, and that everybody does do it right. And that's what we want to do as an organization, is we want to make sure that people are out there are being protected. We don't like those stories about people being taken advantage of. So we want to make sure we gather the group and we groom them and we build leadership within and we move forward. So thank you for being here and thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, Modernize is all about education. We try to educate our homeowners, try to educate our contractors. We have actually an ebook that's out. I think we actually have some paper copies.
Really?
We just did a homeowner surveyed like 40,000 homeowners over the course, and we do that pretty regularly, and we publish those results. Yeah. Really what we try to do is bring contractors more educated homeowners, and then I'm the director of account management, and so my team is really geared towards educating our contractors on how to really work with homeowners in a very efficient and quality way. Yeah. And so it seems like, that's what we're trying to do here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. And I mean, I'm just going to tell you real quick, I serve as the scholarship chairman. And so last year we gave away $32,000 worth of scholarships from the RCAT community.
Oh, that's great.
So we are about education as well. Yeah. So, and we like that. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Well, our listeners out there, thanks for listening. Before you go, hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a review on Apple or Spotify podcasts, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Holly.
Goodbye. Thanks.
Bye, guys.